Hello people, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to Cube. My name is Brijesh and today we have a wonderful session on fill in the blanks, and these fill in the blanks will come in the English language section, not in the general test section. So many people are confused as to whether they will see the questions of this kind in the general test or in the English section test, that is the language section. In the general test there are a few questions which are which can be categorized in the English section, but those questions are purely logical reasoning based questions. But the kind of questions that we are going to discuss today in the form of fill in the blanks will come in the English language section, if at all you choose English language as one of your language, which is section A. And as per the data that we have of CUET 2022, we know that almost, I think, the highest number of people, in fact the English language had the highest number of language takers. So out of all the 13 language options that people had, English was chosen by the highest number of students. So English is going to be one of the very important section, and many courses such as mass communication, journalism, etc., which come in the humanities part, or maybe not in the core humanities and commerce and science part, they would definitely take language as one of the criteria for selecting the applicants, and therefore you have to prepare well for this section. And coming back to this topic primarily is a mix of both English and grammar. In fact, it's a mix of both English vocabulary and grammar. So there are some questions which will test you purely in vocabulary. There are some questions which will test you in both vocabulary and grammar. So you have to be good with the concepts of grammar, and you should have a decent hand on vocabulary by knowing the differences between very subtle words and the variations between them. So we will take a few questions. Today we are taking 15 questions, and we will try to understand why the right answer is the right answer. These are multiple choice questions. What do you mean by multiple choice question? Every question that is given to you will have options, and from those options you have to choose the one that best fits the blank. So what do we mean by fill in the blanks? Fill in the blanks basically means a sentence is given to you. It could be a long sentence, it could be a short sentence, and that sentence will have at least one or max maybe three blanks, not more than that. So usually we have one or two blank, and the blanks that are given to you have missing words. They don't have the words, but the options are given, and from the options you have to choose the word that best fits the blank logically. That means it is basically logical filling of the blank. So you should not only know the meaning of the word, but also its grammatical usage and also its contextual appropriateness with respect to what is given in the other part of the sentence except the blank. So we will take a look at some of the questions and we will see how to solve these questions, right? So this is the first question, and let me get the pen here, right? I think, now look at this question, all of you can see the question. I think this frame of morality, seeking dash fairness to give people a chance, seeking dash to achieve fairness, to achieved fairness, to achieves fairness, or none of the above. So sometimes if none of the options are correct, then you have to mark none of the above. But in this context, which option do you think is the best? I think this frame of morality, seeking to achieve. Now the point is, people, that if you look at these four options, there is nothing called as preparation for these kind of questions. If you are well read in English, and if you have read English books, or if you know how to communicate in English, this question becomes automatically very easy. There is no concept behind it, but you are seeking to do something, right? So whenever you have the verb, whenever you have this to and plus the verb is usually in the base form. Understand this. What do you mean by base form? Base form basically means there is no ed or en or any s attached to the verb. I want to sleep. So when you put to, you use the word sleep. You don't say slept, or you don't say, let's say, sleeping, or any kind of other variation. When you say to, the verb has to be purely a verb without any kind of ed, ing, or en or s, or whatever it is. Even ing I can put here, right? Just a moment, right? So even ing has to be avoided. Everything will, nothing of this kind will come. The verb will come as a pure verb, right? So it says here, I think this frame of morality seeking to achieve fairness, to give people a chance, shows that the election was not only fought on material interests, but in something else as well. So can I say that to achieve is the only word which has this condition or which meets this condition? Seeking to do something. I am seeking to complete, or I am seeking to fulfill the requirements to do my, let's say, masters from USA or something like this, right? So I think this frame of morality seeking to achieve fairness, to achieve, that is a base form without ed, without s, without en, without ing, anything, right? So this is the first question, and let's go and take the next question. I think he's a wonderful player and he will be an dash leader. So now we have the word an here, and therefore we know that all the options will have a sound which is like that of a vowel, a, e, I, o, u. So this trick can also be used, that whenever you have something which begins with an, that means the word that comes here will have the sound of a vowel, right? So I think he is a wonderful player and will be an excited leader or exciting leader. So I am an exciting person or I am an excited person. It all depends. Both could be correct. So some people are irritating, some people are irritable. Some people are inspiring, some people are inspired. Now you have to understand the difference between inspiring and inspired. So you will say that Subhash Chandra Bose was an inspiring leader. The masses were inspired by Subhash Chandra Bose. So the one who is receiving inspiration is inspired, and the one who is giving inspiration is inspiring. That is the difference between inspired and inspiring. The one who gives the one who gives inspiration is inspiring. So because he is a wonderful player, that means the author is telling us that he would be giving excitement. See, when you watch cricket match and when you see some great players playing the game, they are exciting, and the crowd is excited by looking at their batting or bowling, or by looking at them playing cricket, right? So can I say that this is the best answer out of all this? Yes or no, people? Try to understand this. I think he is a wonderful player and he will be an exciting leader rather than an excited leader or an excitement leader or none of the above. Correct? Answer is C, and I would say this was an easy question, pure usage question. The third question now. So we have come to the third question. We'll try to understand what it means. The government is dash press. Is dash press ahead? What is the meaning of the word to press ahead? To press ahead basically means to go ahead. So it says here, the government is dash press ahead with economic reforms, and a loss in an election will not slow down the pace of change. So the government is dash is determined to. The government is determined to press ahead. That means the government is ready and determined to go ahead. Correct? So you can take the example of your own case. I am determined to go ahead in spite of all the roadblocks, right? So you are determined to press ahead or to go ahead. So you will find that contextually and in fact syntactically and grammatically, determined to makes perfect sense. Without to, this does not look good here. You can try. The government is determined press ahead. The government is determined press ahead does not sound good. Government is determined to press ahead. That is the right answer. The government is determining press ahead. No, again, that is not making sense. So most of the questions, people, that are asked in exams like CUET are pure usage questions. I mean, you can't prepare in any way for these kind of questions. The only thing you can do is you can solve a good number of questions. So if you practice a good number of questions, you know what is right, and you do also know how you can be tricked by the examiner. What do you mean by tricked? Many a time, what we do is we put certain questions which we know that the person cannot prepare for. We just check his presence of mind. And by practicing these kind of questions, you know that your presence of mind is there in the right place. And therefore, this is one such question. Easy to solve and easy to understand. Let's go and take the next question. RBI wants dash credit card charges to reflect reasonableness, fairness and transparency, right? So RBI wants dash credit card, bank credit card charges or bank's credit card charges or bank's credit card charges, or now this again is a typical confusing question. What exactly are you trying to test? RBI wants, so let's take an example. We want banks to remain open on Sundays as well. All of you can read it? Please tell me. All of you can read, right? We want banks to remain open on Sundays as well. Now, we want, if I say bank, then how would you react to it? Now, understand this. When you say we want banks, you mean to say all banks. When you say we want bank, that means you have only one bank in mind. So, in that case, you have to put the word a. We want a bank to remain open on Sundays. A bank means any bank. Banks means all banks. When you say the banks means all banks that are there in your area. But one thing is for sure, that if you put bank simply without any article, then this sentence would be incorrect. So if you put the word bank alone, you have to put the article a. Correct? You can say, I went to a bank to open my account. I went to banks, or I went to many banks. I want banks to remain open. So banks in general. I want a bank to remain open on Sunday. So a bank means any bank that you come across. So looking at this, you know that this cannot be the right choice. Even this cannot be the right choice, because they both need the article a. RBI wants a bank's credit card. You see, there's a possession as well. I want a lion's share of income. Lions, there is a possession. RBI wants bank's credit card. Banks means possession to आना है ना? I was looking for my dog's, let's say, I was looking for my car's key. किसका की? कार का की. तो कार का मतलब कार्स की, है ना? I was searching for my friend's hat. So किसका hat? दोस्त का hat. Friends. So possession is very important. Possession is given only in two cases. One is case number C and the case number D. But because this is, just a moment. So because here the article A is missing, it is not the right answer. And here, because you have banks plural and you put a possession here. When you put a possession here you don't need to put the S. Please understand this. When you put the possession here there is no need of S. It means basically the S is there. So C is the right answer, because it has plural, it has possession as well. If you want to keep it singular, then you have to put the article a. That is the right way of doing things, right? So what it says here, RBI wants banks' credit card charges to reflect reasonableness, fairness and transparency in pricing. Banks, kiska credit card charges? Banks ka. That's the reason why the possession is very important. I hope this is clear to all of you. We can go to the next question now. The decision on dash charges was taken at a conference attended by bank ombudsman and the top rung of the RBI. The decision on dash charges. The government's decision, or you can say the BCCI's decision on banning certain players. Yes or no? Please tell me. Now again, there is no strict rule as such, but the only thing we know is that on is a preposition, correct? Understand this. This on is a preposition, and after preposition, you should always have the verb in the ing form. After preposition, you will always have gerund or noun. You can't have verb forms. That means whatever comes after the preposition is a gerund or a noun or a pronoun or a clause, but it cannot be a verb form. And therefore, after on, You cannot have trim, and therefore none of the above will go out. Your answer is trimming. Yes or no? The decision on, let's say, the decision on banning some of the IPL players has come directly from the chief of the selector or cricket selector, the chief cricket selector. My decision on going to the party was shaped by my wife, was influenced by my wife. My decision on joining this political party was my own decision. Your decision on something, doing something, correct? I hope these are very conceptual questions. You can always go with the rules, but I would say that instead of memorizing the rules, you simply try to understand the context, and what sounds good is usually the right stuff. Interest rates charged on credit card overdue were dash high, coordinately high, cooperatively high और क्रिएटिवली हाई. सुनने में क्या अच्छा लगता है? कोई चीज क्रिएटिवली हाई हो सकती है क्या? मतलब बैंक के इंटरेस्ट रेट्स क्रिएटिवली हाई हो गए हैं. अब दैट इज नॉट द राइट वे. यू नो व्हाट इज इनऑर्डिनेटली? लुक एट दिस वर्ड. इसका मतलब होता है एक्सेसिवली. So high that it defies लॉजिक. इतना हाई है कि इलॉजिकल लग रहा है. इतना हाई है कि वो इलॉजिकल लग रहा है. तो आपने क्या लिखा? इंटरेस्ट रेट्स चार्ज ऑन क्रेडिट कार्ड ओवरड्यू वेर इनऑर्डिनेटली हाई एंड आउट ऑफ अलाइनमेंट. इनऑर्डिनेटली बेसिकली मींस लॉजिकल लिमिट से भी बाहर. कोऑर्डिनेटली, कोऑपरेटिवली, क्रिएटिवली क्या है? So don't choose the word simply by the sound of it. कह रहा सुनने में बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है. सुनने में कितना भी अच्छा क्यों लगे, लॉजिकली सही होना चाहिए वो. करेक्ट? सो इनऑर्डिनेटली बेसिकली मींस आप किसी 5 स्टार होटल में खाना खाने गए और बिल बहुत हाई आ गया, तो आप क्या बोलोगे? इनऑर्डिनेटली हाई बिल. मैंने सिर्फ कॉफी पिया और 500 रुपए का बिल थमा दिया मेरे को. इनऑर्डिनेटली हाई, राइट? लॉजिकली यार 500 रुपए की कॉफी कैसे कोई पी सकता है? दिस इज द पॉइंट द ऑथर इज ट्राइंग टू मेक. लेट्स गो एंड टेक द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. There should be dash in such charges. Now हमने ये शायद वर्ड देखा भी होगा. जैसे किसी ने कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा आपसे, तो वो उस क्वेश्चन में एक कॉमन सेंस तो होना चाहिए ना. मैंने पूछा भाई कितनी रोटी खाते हो आप, तो आपने कहा सर मैं 200 रोटी खाता हूं. हमने 200 रोटी खा गया. आई मीन प्लीज डोंट टेल मी. देयर शुड बी सम रीजनेबलनेस इन योर आंसर. भाई 10 खाता है, 15 खाता है, 20 भी खा सकता है, बट कोई 200 रोटी कैसे खा सकता है? आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? अनलेस एक रोटी एक निवाला हो तो बात अलग है, बट तो भी नहीं खा पाएगा. तो देयर शुड बी रीजनेबलनेस. रीजनेबलनेस का मतलब क्या होता है? एक कहीं ना कहीं एक थोड़ा सा रीजनिंग को अपील करना चाहिए वो. तो कैन आई से दैट दिस इज द बेस्ट आंसर? रीजनेबलनेस. ये रीजनेबल लेस बोल रहा है. अब ये देखो, लुक एट दिस हाउ, आई मीन रीजनेबल लेस नहीं होता, रीजनेबल नेस होना चाहिए. सो ऑल दिस विल गो आउट. रीजनेबल एडजेक्टिव है, यू कैन यूज इट फॉर पीपल. दैट he was a reasonable human being. In my company there are reasonable people. That means जो रीजनिंग जिनको अपील करता है, जो रीजनिंग को यूज करते हैं और रीजनिंग को यूज करके बातें करते हैं. ठीक है? सो my friends are quite reasonable with respect to whom to talk to and whom to not talk to. Right? I hope this is clear to all of you. Let's go and take the next question. In online cases, understand this question. In online cases, there is no such proof, and it often dash being the banker's uh, word against the customers on the issue of negligence. In online cases, there is no such proof, and it often end up होता है, ends up होता है, end up होता है, या none of the above होगा. So again, as I told you at the start, ये पूरा usage की बात कर रहे हैं हम. So I end up in some sort of problem every year. तो आप क्या बोलोगे? Every year I end up in some sort of issue with my boss, or every year he ends up. तो अगर मैं I के साथ end up होगा, ठीक है? So let me just erase it. I end up शी एंड्स अप, है ना, इट एंड्स अप होता है। ये है सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट। सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट में क्या होता है, इफ द पर्सन इज थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर, उसके अंदर एस आता है। शी एंड्स अप, सॉरी, शी एंड्स अप, आई एंड अप, बिकॉज ये फर्स्ट पर्सन है इसीलिए ऐसा है। इट एंड्स अप, करेक्ट, ध्यान दो, इट एंड्स अप, ठीक है। सो इन ऑनलाइन केसेस देयर इज नो सच प्रूफ एंड इट ऑफ्टन ends up being the banker's word against the customers. Clear with this people? It often, it है ना, तो it often ends up. That is how it should be, correct? Let's go and take the next question. Interest rates on credit card dash from 15% per annum on credit card balance, right? Credit card की balance की बात होगी या balances की बात होगी? और द इंटरेस्ट रेट्स है ना, तो इंटरेस्ट रेट्स अगर प्लूरल है तो इसके साथ वेरी आएगा। अंडरस्टैंड दिस, यहां पे वेरी आएगा। द इंटरेस्ट रेट्स वेरी, द इंटरेस्ट रेट वेरीज। अगर ये सिंगुलर होगा तो वेरीज, अगर ये प्लूरल है तो वेरी, करेक्ट। द टेम्परेचर वेरीज फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस। टेम्परेचर सिंगुलर है इसलिए वेरीज, अगर ये प्लूरल होगा टेम्परेचर्स तो ये वेरी हो जाएगा, ठीक है। सो द क्रेडिट कार्ड बैलेंस वेरीज या वेरीज। अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है, ये वेरीज नहीं होगा क्योंकि ये वेरीज तो वर्ब है ही नहीं, ये तो पोजेशन है। ये बैलेंस वेरीज हो सकता है बिकॉज ये सिंगुलर है, बट ये तो प्लूरल है ना, तो इसलिए द क्रेडिट कार्ड बैलेंसेस वेरी। अब आप बोलोगे सर बैलेंस का बैलेंसेस क्यों नहीं हो सकता? अरे भाई एक क्रेडिट कार्ड नहीं, बहुत लोगों के पास क्रेडिट कार्ड होता है, बहुत लोग अलग अलग बैलेंस रखते हैं, बहुत कंपनीज अलग अलग बैलेंस रखने को कहती हैं। सो द इंटरेस्ट रेट ऑन क्रेडिट कार्ड बैलेंसेस, इट्स पॉसिबल, इट्स नॉट दैट बैलेंसेस नहीं हो सकता, बट एज लॉन्ग एज यू हैव द सब्जेक्ट एज अ प्लूरल यू हैव टू यूज वेरी, और कोई चारा नहीं है। ये डिसाइड कर रहा है कि आंसर क्या होगा। Clear to all of you people? Let's go and take the next question. It also wants onus of providing customers negligence on banks. So it also wants onus of providing, अब अगर ये यूज करोगे तो आपको आर्टिकल अ लगाना पड़ेगा, अगर ये सिंगुलर है तो भी अ लगाना पड़ेगा, कस्टमर्स प्लूरल है तो आपने एस लगा दिया। So either you put a here only then this would be right, either you put a here only then this would be right, and this is the right answer. It also wants onus. Onus का मतलब होता है responsibility. Please understand this. The word onus means responsibility. ठीक है, तो क्या लिखा आपने? It also wants onus of providing customers negligence on the banks, failing which there will be zero liability for consumer in e-transactions. ठीक है। If the Indians are looking for dash the venue of their practice session on Thursday. So Indians are looking for what? Inspiration. You always look for inspiration, not desperation. Desperation कोई ढूंढता थोड़ी ना, आप desperation हो, desperation आपके अंदर आ जाती है, आप desperation को ढूंढने नहीं जाते, correct? So desperation results when companies start firing their employees. If the Indians are looking for inspiration, the venue of their practice session on Thursday could not have been better. Correct? Aspiration का मतलब क्या होता है? Aspiration होता है आकांक्षाएं। जैसे आप अपने आप के साथ कुछ एक एम, एक एम्बिशन रखते हो तो वो आपके एस्पिरेशन है। Correct? If the Indians are looking for inspiration, the venue of their practice session on Thursday could not have been better. Correct? Let's go and take the next question. They have not produced cricketers of dash. Of what? Institute, astute, या dispute या repute. Repute आता है reputation से. What is reputation? What is reputation? इसका कोई मतलब होता नहीं, एक नाम हो, करेक्ट। जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल है कि भाई आपको कोई कोचिंग ज्वाइन करनी है सीयूटी के लिए, तो आप सीयूटी के लिए कोचिंग किसके पास आओगे? क्यूब के पास आओगे, बिकॉज क्यूब का आपने देखा है कि भाई यूट्यूब पे काफी रेपुटेशन है, काफी नाम है। और रेपुटेशन हमेशा अच्छा होता है, अक्सर अच्छा होता है, खराब नहीं होता, ठीक है। सो दे हैव नॉट प्रोड्यूस क्रिकेटर्स ऑफ रेप्यूट, रेप्यूट मीन्स हैविंग रेप्यूटेशन, ठीक है, वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन। अस्ट्यूट मीन्स शार्प, ये जो वर्ड है ना अस्ट्यूट, इसका मतलब होता है शार्प, अस्ट्यूट ऑब्जर्वर, ठीक है। डिस्प्यूट क्या होता है, विवाद होता है, डिस्प्यूट मीन्स सम सॉर्ट ऑफ विवाद और सम सॉर्ट ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सी, यू नो द मीनिंग ऑफ दीज वर्ड्स, करेक्ट। The casual atmosphere with students young and old on the boundary what? Edge पे होते हैं ना, बॉर्डर, बाउंड्री का एज होता है, कॉर्नर नहीं होता, इंचेस नहीं होता, एजेस हो सकता है। The casual atmosphere with students young and old on the boundary edge galvanize the players to sweat. तो भाई एक स्पेसिफिक जगह की बात हो रही है, तो बाउंड्री एज, एक ही बाउंड्री, देखो अगर एक मैच हो रहा है और उस मैच पे, मैच की बात हम कर रहे हैं तो एक ही एज होगा ना भाई। क्रिकेट मैच हो रहा है इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में, तो बाउंड्री के एज पे तो बैठेंगे ना, एक ही बाउंड्री है, एक ही एज है, आई मीन बाउंड्री का एज तो एक ही होगा ना, आई एम ऑन द बाउंड्री एज। अब कौन सा बाउंड्री, यही एक बाउंड्री, उसी के एज पे बैठे हो आप, ठीक है। दैट इज हाउ इट इज। लेट्स गो एंड टेक द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। India were without their captain because he drove after completing his batting stints in the nets to a dash flight for Melbourne to catch a flight. टू है ना, मैंने क्या कहा था, टू के साथ क्या आता है, बेस फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब, याद रखो इस बात को, बेस फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब ऑलवेज कम्स विथ टू, याद रखो, ये बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए आपको। टू के साथ हमेशा बेस फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब आता है, राइट। इंडिया वेर विदाउट देयर कैप्टन बिकॉज ही ड्रोव after completing his batting stints in the nets to catch a flight to Melbourne. You catch a flight, you catch a train, so to catch something, right? They had dropped a dash catches and the general standard was below par. They had dropped a. अगर a है तो फिर many नहीं आएगा, है ना। India dropped many catches या most catches, बट अगर आप अ many लिखते हो तो गलत हो जाता है, और लॉट आएगा तो इसके आगे ऑफ आएगा, हाँ कि ना। They had dropped a lot of catches, इसका मतलब ये a few आ सकता है। A few means एक सिग्निफिकेंट नंबर। क्रिकेट मैच में अगर आपने एक दो भी ड्रॉप किया तो मैच तो हार जाओगे ना। तो a few का मतलब होता है सिग्निफिकेंट, और फ्यू खा होता है इनसिग्निफिकेंट। अगर आप ये कहते हैं कि दे हैड ड्रॉप्ड फ्यू कैचेस मींस बहुत सारे नहीं छोड़े। व्हेन यू से दे हैड ड्रॉप्ड अ फ्यू कैचेस मींस इतने छोड़ दिए कि काफी सिग्निफिकेंट नंबर हो गया, ठीक है। सो ये था बेसिकली फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स। अब फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स के अंदर हमने क्या देखा कि ये सब बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन बहुत ही एकदम कॉमन सेंसिकल होते हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि इनके लिए आपको बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी। लेकिन क्या होता है ना कि अगर आपने ऐसे क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस किए हैं खूब सारे, सी इफ यू हैव प्रैक्टिस अ गुड नंबर ऑफ these kind of questions, you are likely to do well in the exam. That's why our suggestion is that don't take CUET lightly. You have to practice from good resource. And our CUBE's course of CUET is one of the best. You can find the link of that and you can search it. It's online.cube.cuet and we have the courses ready for you. If you are planning to enroll for CUET, please go and refer to those courses. Okay? Thanks a lot, people. Thanks for being so attentive. It was a great session having you here. Thank you.